Okay, so dozens of folks in Connecticut have overdosed using some synthetic marijuana. It is called K2, and it's scary. It's a really scary situation. So at least, let me tell you what happened down in Connecticut. So at least 71 people have overdosed from synthetic marijuana in Connecticut, with at least 52 of them at or near a Connecticut city park, authorities said late Wednesday. Most of the overdoses happened on the New Haven Green, a downtown park in Yale. So the Department of Health, and the scary situation, this all happened on Wednesday. All of these overdoses in one single day. They have arrested 2 people in connection with all of these overdoses, but the scary thing is they used 50 doses of Narcan in that single day at the park. 50 doses of Narcan to wake these patients up. All of these patients were shipped over to a hospital. There were ambulances all day going through that park, so most of the patients out of the hospital, and there's only one in critical condition currently. But it's a shitty situation. After doing all of the blood testing, seeing what drugs these patients were on, the drug enforcement did confirm that they were using K2, which, like I said, is a synthetic form of marijuana, right? Made in a lab. So, fun fact, it also goes by spice. So if you heard it on the street, if someone's on the spice or the K2, know that they are in the synthetic form of marijuana. It's super dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Because, and by the way, if you didn't know, K2 is technically banned to be used in the U.S., but it's still getting used and sold at dispensaries because of a very weird loophole that is going on. So the most widely known synthetic marijuana is called Spice or K2, which is banned in the U.S., along with several of the individual chemicals used to make it. So not just the actual drug, but the chemicals used to make K2 was banned. But the reason it's still being sold at dispensaries and people are still dealing it, number one, it's drug dealers. They'll figure out a way if they have to figure out a way. But number two, chemists are constantly tweaking the molecular makeup of the drug to create new compounds and avoid regulation. So with the chemical makeup different, that means technically this new chemical makeup, even though it's the slightest molecular change, is considered a different product. And if it is considered a different product, they get to put it out there and it's not regulated because it's a different product. And because it's not regulated and because they're changing it so often, we wouldn't know what the effects of the drug are. If it's constantly being changed in the lab, just changing one molecule here, one molecule there, just so you can make a profit, we don't know how to respond. We don't know what the expected signs and symptoms are if someone were to overdose using this drug. So we all have heard the fact that there's been 0 people in the history of the world that has died strictly from an overdose of marijuana. Yes, a lot of people who are against marijuana say people have died due to marijuana, and that is a fact. You do marijuana, get behind the wheel, scary situation. Do marijuana and do stupid things, scary situation. But you die from the car crash, you die from the stupid incident. You don't die from an overdose of marijuana. But that's a fact that everyone knows. 0 people have died. But when you start talking about a synthetic form of marijuana, that's when everything changes, right? Because that's just in the lab. That's when human beings try to play with the natural resources this great earth has given us, that is the herb marijuana. But when we try to create it, we put a little extra juice on it. And when we put that extra juice, and we're playing with the molecules, the chemists are doing their thing, chefing it up in the kitchen, bad things can happen, and we don't know what the effects are for these things. So please be careful. If you don't know what you're getting yourself into, just stay away. It's just 71 people, 50 people into the hospital, 50 doses of Narcan used on these patients. That's a scary, scary day. Please take it down a notch, folks in Connecticut. All right, slow it down. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate this. If you guys were informed or educated in any way, shape, or form by these stories, please hit that like button. If you liked my presentation of the news, I really suggest you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time Q the Nurse drops some hot, fresh press news. Thank you. Catch you next week. Deuces.